Well, hello. I have done a review of Colin Anderson's lesson on a quick write on plastics use. I thought it was quite excellent. It looks like Colin is a new teacher to that room, so he had to start with explaining classroom rules and expectations, which I think he did very clearly. There were three main ones. About respect, focus and active listening, which really reminds the students how best to learn and to respect each other in his classroom, and also sets his expectations of what he would like in his classroom. It was very clearly outlined, which I thought was really good, verbally but also on the screen, so different learners can receive the information in different ways. I think this was a double lesson, so I suppose the time element wasn't an issue, but if this was a single lesson, that was quite a lot of time that was taken up doing that for older students. I wonder if that could have been done a little faster, but if it was a double lesson, I guess you've got the time to do that. So it was very clear. Then he moved on to the quick write and use of plastics expectations for the class. It kind of crept up on me a little bit. I think that it might have been it could have been more clearly described as what the overall project would have been. We're going to be doing this today, and we're going to be doing this first, this, that, then the other. Whereas I think what was delivered was, first of all, a quick write, then analysis of a quick write, then introduction of the plastics use, then the project, then the brainstorm. Whereas at the beginning, it would have been good to say, right, kids, today what we're going to do is we're going to study plastics in the form of a quick write and then a brainstorm, just given the overarching vision of the lesson, then broken it down into the parts that it was broken down into. Having said that, when each part was explained, it was done very clearly, very succinctly, with the timer. The energy, the tempo of the class was kept up really well, so that was very good. It was pretty teacher directed as far as student learning goes. There wasn't so much driven by the student. They did break out into pairs and threes and also brainstorm groups, which was great. But it was very teacher directed from the front of the classroom, which leads me on to the layout of the classroom. It's pretty traditional and didn't really allow for much imagination or movement for the teacher. So the teacher was kind of penned to the front of the classroom next to the board. So you couldn't really move around much amongst the students. Touch objects on their desk, just having a kind of interaction to keep them kind of stimulated visually with your movement and your voice. I might suggest that the class be set up a little differently to allow you to do that and to express yourself in that way. Allowing the students maybe to move, and instead of just sitting in their desks in groups, move to that corner of the room in a group, in a pair, in a three. Just creates that physical movement. Some of the kids who maybe need that might have benefited from that. What else? The Q&A portion at the end was very good. Lots of formative assessments. Thumbs up. Did you get that? Aren't any questions? Then before moving on, so using that very well. Your higher level thinking. That was good. It started simple, then it got more complicated, and at the end there was a lot of, why do you think this is relevant? Watch the video, give feedback into what you've just learned. So much higher level thinking. So it was built up very well, like a layered cake. So that was pretty good. Some suggestions, I think I've already mentioned them, but I've already mentioned a few suggestions about class layout and setting up the expectations, but the other one I'd really suggest is, it's a great topic, really, really useful. Why not bring in some plastic bottles? Allow them to pick the ones they use at home, or give discussion or judgment about how much plastic is enough or too much, or should any of it be used. Maybe even look at what plastic they're using at home and bring a bottle in for this project, so that it makes it real life. And when they go home in the evening for the rest of their life, they'll see a plastic bottle and go, oh yeah, this means something, I've learned something about this. Oh, my use of plastic is too much. Okay, not enough. it just makes it real and brings it into the home, and then the learning will continue when they're at home, even outside of your classroom, because they remember that lesson, and having brought the picked a brand and picked a bottle and brought it in and made judgment about that bottle, that judgment will live on forever in them. That would be my main suggestion as an improvement for the lesson. Just make it more tactile, make it more relevant to their use of plastic in the home. Well done. Thank you.